Making our way right into Coastline. Ladies and gentlemen, grab some popcorn and grab a seat, as this is going to be an interesting match. And it seems like it's really quiet for me. I don't know if it's quiet for you, Uzumaki, Chris.
You might just have to turn your volume all the way up on the YouTube stream.
I have it all the way turned. I have it turned all the way up, but it's still pretty quiet.
Maybe your desktop volume. Maybe it's too low.
Let's see.
Or is it at 100?
Let's see here. It's not even coming up right now. Hold on.
All right. Well, Jasmine, either way, he ended up turning it up to 100, so that's fine.
There we go.
But yeah,
our
ban so far, we have Evil Geniuses banning out Dokkaebi. I think it's a pretty good target ban to Spacestation. They like to run Dokkaebi on this map in particular. Zofia going to be banned out to counter against most likely Modiga, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And Evil Geniuses, well, actually, Spacestation can go ahead and ban out Zofia and Valkyrie. So they're taking a lot of intel off the board already, and that's at least one C4 to be used, gone for the entirety of this map. And Evil Geniuses, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Mirror ban or Maestro ban even. Maestro being a pretty strong operator, so we will have Mira available on the board. So it'll be interesting to see how she gets played on out in this series.
Yeah, not always common to see Mira get allowed through the ban phase for Coastline. So definitely should make for an interesting matchup here between these two powerhouse teams. Again, we're going to be starting off with Evil Geniuses on defense, as going to be going to kitchen service first and foremost here, as kind of been more of a secondary side, I would say, in these past few days of qualifiers, as it feels like the hookah and billiards room has been a little bit more prevalent between choices of whether teams want to go to the top floor or to that kitchen service site. So we'll be looking at an interesting lineup here, as the Pulse does get 6-picked there by Gotcha. So not going to be showing that immediately, but we'll have that intel nonetheless.
Yeah, Bosco going to be rocking the Capital Elites. The Capital Elite's pretty cool. I like.
I liked it. Yeah, I noticed that too.
That it is.
Mm-hmm.
So first bomb site is going to be played out in kitchen and service. No surprise there. It's one of the top two bomb sites. It's usually either this one or it's hookah and billiards. As although you do have a mirror on the board, we're not seeing that being taken here by Evil Geniuses. Instead, we're going to be having Pulse, Vigil, Jaeger, Smoke, and Legion. So I assume we're going to be seeing possibly a Turtle Strap, maybe a duo roam coming out from Modiga and NVK. Young going to be playing most likely inside a kitchen. You have Necrox on the Smoke, rotating back and forth between kitchen and service entrance. And then Gotcha's going to be on the Pulse for information, just trying to see if he can find a C4 pick and give information out to his teammates.
Yeah, looks like he's going to be playing over here the Sunrise bar first. Beginning of this round again. Looking like this attack is formulating itself on this office side. It looks like Bosco is just droning in through Aquarium and is going to make his way through the rest of the site. I'm not sure why this is so quiet for me. It just sounds really quiet for whatever reason. I'm not sure why, but hopefully it's not that quiet for you guys in the stream. If not, we're going to have to try to fix that. It looks like Gotcha's already got the pinpoint on one player just outside of the hookah balcony. I believe that's either the Capitao or somebody, but ooh, he gets to go for the Nitro Salt toss-up, but it isn't actually going to land onto anything. Kind of a poor waste of utility. I'm not sure what Gotcha was really thinking with that. As that's going to be the Nitro Salt.
I think that's Rampy.
Board.
Yeah, Rampy inside of Aquarium. They're going to take a lot of damage now. None going to be traded over onto NVK on that Vigil. Slowly creeping around is going to be Modiga, taking a bit of damage, but he'll successfully fight off against Rampy as Bosco finds 2 picks onto both NVK and Modiga. A great start here for Spacestation for the life of Rampy, although it's a lot of vertical pressure that's going to be taken away. But I'd say that's a pretty worthy trade for right now. You've already burned off close to half of the round. That's your 2 roamers off the board. Although you do have man advantage, you can no longer create all that vertical pressure that would be necessary up above inside of VIP.
Yeah, that vertical pressure is no longer going to be a possibility unless Ash has some more breaching charges left to her disposal. But again, the main advantage in favor of the attack, when with about half of the round left remaining, it's going to be up to how they decide to make this happen. As Young is still holding tight onto this main lobby stairs, the white stairs that is, as Fultz is going to rappel right in and going to get right back on his drone and see if he can't gather any more intel onto this player playing just behind the main lobby wall here. Looks like he's ready for this push down the stairs, and He has a goo mine set to alert him of this position, but it doesn't look like Fultz is going to fall for the bait just yet. Just doing a little bit more drone work to see if he can't locate Young exactly. As it looks like Fultz will actually run right into that goo mine. Well placed there by Young, and with only 45 seconds left, it kind of seems like SSG is stalling out for the time being.
Gotcha's already rotated away from Sunrise into Courtyard now as he hops over into the window. And that's going to be Thinking taking down Gotcha now. 4 versus 2. Necroc's the only member on site as Young is over inside of security. Spray through the walls and to come out from both Thinking and Young. As here in the billiards wall, he's going to blue bar wall, excuse me. As Thinking will be the third member to fall here. That's False taking down Young. On 1v3 clutch scenario to come out for Necrox. Doesn't have the shotgun in hand, but he's somehow cheating death here, tossing out that last Toxic Babe, needing to find this frag onto Canadian. It's going to work out for him. A 1v2. But Bosco comes in with the pistol to find himself with a massive 3K to start things off here against Evil Geniuses on Coastline.
Excellent round there for SSG. It seemed like they were going to stall out there towards the end, but it just seems like those last second pushes always work out for SSG, and going to be working out there perfectly for them in that round, as that's going to be taking the 1-0 advantage here early on. And looks like we're going to be still sitting at the kitchen for Evil Geniuses, as they haven't decided to switch the site just yet. They still have 2 seconds to do so, but it looks like they will be sticking the kitchen, and going to be seeing a very similar lineup coming out from them, except we're going to be seeing Gotcha on the Mozzie, possibly, unless there's a 6-pick here. MVK, the only person that looks like he may be able to 6-pick, but no, it looks like everybody will lock in those choices. No 6-picks from either team. So the Mozzie instead of the Pulse is going to be interesting. That's definitely going to deny some of this drone game from SSG, but they're going to be losing that intel on that cardiac sensor, which, I mean, Gotcha, it didn't seem like he was using it that efficiently in the previous round. I mean, he tried to go for that nitro cell kill early on. That was kind of a whiff. I'm not really too sure what the plan behind that was. I mean, that player on the hookah balcony was just too far away for that toss to go through.
Yeah, so from what it looked like, it looked that Thinking it was directly on the wall right beside in the entrance into hookah, and Gotcha didn't have enough velocity or the curve really to throw that nitro cell into an effective position. But by then, I think Thinking it had already made his way into hookah, and the way Gotcha was playing that pulse, I liked it, just due to the fact that he was able to give information out to both Mo and MEK. And despite Evil Geniuses getting that first pick, they fell victim to Bosco, who was on the rappel right outside of the aquarium balcony with that Para 308, and just did so much work for Spacestation there, netting himself a pretty nice 3K.
Yeah, an excellent rounds for him indeed, and going to be seeing again, it looks like a west side take here from Space Station Gaming, as they have positioned a lot of their members out on this west side. It looks like Gotcha again going to be the forefront of this attack, as he's going to try to stop them at the gates here. He will rotate back inside of kitchen and to a more secure spot. Actually, no, he's going to rotate all the way upstairs. He does have reinforcements and some rotate holes. Oh, the punch under the door. Rampy doesn't look like he's aware. Oh, the timing there for Rampy, as Gotcha seemed to just rotate right past the drone of somebody and gets a freebie onto the Buck. So that's vertical pressure again denied. Rampy falling first again. Canadian here to try to get the frag. Yes, a nice shot there by the man himself on the Nomad, taking Gotcha right out of the game.
So 1-for-1 trade again. Rampy going to be the opening death here for Space Station, but it's not really going to matter as Gotcha is now off the board. That's your only C4 here to be used for Evil Geniuses. Now you got MVK rotating around inside of VIP, and it looks like Mo's going to be playing inside that 90 hall right outside of Theater over by the Vases. So now Canadian going to have to rotate away from the hookah deck. His Fault has now made his way into office.
Yeah, Fultz making his way into office. He's going to start to apply pressure here to the side of the map. As it looks like Jaeger, going to be Modiga, is just sitting on 90. I'm not sure if he has been droned out by this attack, but if he does, it could be a possible pinch here, as it seems like they're kind of split up. We have one inside of office, one outside the kitchen window rotating towards service, one outside service itself, and the other one outside the front door. So really on all sides of the map here, not really making an effort to push as one team, but maybe to pinch out these remaining defenders. It looks like that's what Fultz wants to do, but if Modiga has anything to say about it, he's going to shut this push down from service, and it looks like Modiga might be looking for the pre-fire here. No, it's Fultz. He knows exactly where he is. That's 2 kills for SSG, MVK, and Necrox now all on their lonesome. It looks like MVK is falling right into the trap being set by Fultz. A nice double there for him, as it's all left up to Necrox yet again. on his lonesome. 30 seconds left. He'll have one last Toxic Babe to toss out. That'll deny the push from Service for the time being, but it looks like it's actually a push through straight from Canadian. He'll be putting that plant down. Another excellent round from Space Station Gaming as they take 2 in a row here to start out Coastline.
Falter at MVK like a bug. Found Modiga sitting on the platform of those stairs, and then in thinking it right outside of the lobby door, just as I expected, able to watch Foltz's crossfire and able to take down Young in the process. So very well played coming out there from Space Station. They took their time, knew that they had time on their side, and they just played it so perfectly. Foltz rotating down those main stairs, able to find, actually not those main stairs even, that was Modiga who had rotated, and then Foltz rotating inside of security, able to take down Modiga. Great coordination, great drone work, and great information gathered there by SSG ultimately led to EG's fall and demise there in Kitchen. So they'll have to shake things up and try to defend Hookah now.
Yeah, I think this is the choice. I mean, you've lost that site twice now in a row, and quite convincingly there by SSG. They make their pushes slowly, but surely they will pinch you out, and they will find you, and they will kill you. Foltz playing it an excellent round there, just preemptively assuming that's two synonyms, but he assumed where those pushes were coming from, and he was able to call them out perfectly. I'm not sure if he had that info onto Modiga on the white stairs, but that was excellent pre-fire by him either way, and then just expecting the push down from MVK on that vigil was perfect. And we're going to be seeing a switch up here. It looks like Young and MVK will switch roles. The Legion and the vigil going to a separate operator, but either way, Hookah, I'm liking this switch, just like you were saying. We're also seeing our first Jackal as well, which is interesting. No more Nomad from Canadian.
Yeah, one thing that I would like about Coastline is that there's really no need for a hard reach unless you need to use a Hibana. But for the way that SSG has been playing, there's really no need for them to even bring a hard reach. And what's unfortunate for SSG in terms of the player department is that Rampy has now been shut down 0-2.
Yeah,
it's a bit unfortunate, as you normally see as the entry fragger that does get those opening picks. But big credit to EG or SSG, excuse me, for being able to really just shut down whatever game plan that EG is bringing. And again, Rampy just lighting NVK up so much inside of the Sunrise bar. Modiga going to be rotating out of security into lobby, as now Bosco's going to find an opening pick onto Gotcha. That's his second opening death yet again here for Evil Geniuses, and that's the great pick for the Capital. And Bosco has really been on fire. MVK going to get taken down now with the wall being behind the Sunrise bar. And they're essentially in the 3 versus 5 here, already in the first minute of play, unless MVK can crawl away to safety.
Yeah, MVK is just going to try to crawl as much as he can. That will be Canadian, though, taking down Modiga. So a nice pick there onto the Jaeger. Modiga being shut down quite quickly here in both of these rounds. As Canadian with the perfect peek finds himself 3 kills on the round, and it's now all up to Young on that vigil playing sight. How does EG let this happen? Young has to pull off a miracle now. He will find one, though, onto his ex-teammate, Canadian. A nice headshot onto the diffuser carrier, and he's vigil, so it has the ability to avoid these drones for the time being, but we'll have to shoot that off and try to go for a few pre-fires and just pray that he's able to find these kills, as SSG playing it very patiently. They're just trying to get this intel onto Young. Young not sure where anybody is. There is one coming up the Cool Vibe stairs. I believe that might be Rampy on that buck as the pre-fires come in, but a team kill it seemed, or no, just a nice pre-fire by Young. We'll find Foltz, but thinking nade right there for the trade. An excellent SSG round.
I honestly thought Young was about to hit the nuttiest quick 2K of the round there. Oh my god. If he nets those 2 frags, he has one coming up his Cool Vibe stairs, which I'm not so sure if he was aware of, which was Rampy, but either way, I do think Young might have been traded out there by Rampy, resulting a 3rd round here for SSG, but that would have been a crazy 2K if he managed to hit both of those shots. But for Evil Geniuses, having no luck, 0-3 for their defenses so far here on Coastline. They'll be heading to their 3rd bomb site, which is going to be Blue Bar and Sunrise. And SSG has just been so dominant with Bosco on that Capital.
Apparently the game sound is still quiet also, Jazzman. I don't know if there's anything that you can do on your side to try to raise that, but apparently it's still quiet for people in chat. Again, there is a 5-minute delay, so anything that you do type is going to be seen or fixed 5 minutes later. So we apologize for that, but
are you sure that your desktop audio is working in OBS? Like it's reading, like if I'm talking here, my voice is being picked up on OBS?
Yeah. And the game is also being picked up. It's just like
Okay.
Oh,
Well, that seems to be working.
That's much better. That is much better. And you're okay. And also, okay, okay, that should be good. That should hopefully be better. I can even turn that down a little bit here on my side. So, thank you so much, Jazzman. Again, our wonderful spectator, Jazzman. Exclamation point casters in chat. Make sure you go check everybody out there. Jazzman came in last second for us to try and do a little bit of spectating. So, excellent job by him thus far. Just a little bit of technical issues, but nothing that we can't fix. So, round number 4 here, and 3 rounds in a row for Spacestation Gaming and a third sight for Evil Geniuses. They are going to be going over to those double bars and see if they can't work something up here.
Evil Genius is really getting dominated here by Space Station, and I'm not so sure if it's just due to the fact that Coastline is the most attacker-sided map or what have you, but Evil Geniuses just look like they can't find an answer to SSG's punches, that they're just being so dominant and being so aggressive on these pushes, and SSG is just hitting every single shot that comes their way.
Yeah, SSG is just like, they're just on one right now, you know, and nothing really that's going to be able to stop them. Unless there's some good play by Evil Geniuses. And Young bringing out the Ella is actually very interesting. Not normally an operator you see played too often unless it's for her shotgun. So I believe he is rocking the Scorpion, as I heard a few of those shots rattle through the wall. But it's always a curious play to see the Ella in play. I mean, normally she's more of a ranked operator, and it's always, oh, Modiga, how does he get onto this flank? Just poor droning or poor flank watches. He'll take down Rampy again, having a rough time. That's going to be the 3rd time that he is the opening pick for Evil Geniuses, and the 3rd time that Evil Geniuses have gotten the opening pick. It hasn't led into any round success thus far, but will we see any change in this round as the second EE1D will ring off?
So MK trying to use these bullet holes over on the server's entrance door to find himself with a pick. So far right now, SSG not going to give in to that bait, and Fultz, he has a nice opportunity to hit MVK right from the back. Fultz has very low HP, so if there is a goo mine on that window, he'll be caught with an injured, and there we go. Fultz is going to be injured, an easy pick to come through for MVK in the time being. Now pushing through a bathroom, as Necrox will find one. That's an easy pick for MVK as well. Canadian not aware of that, and MVK with 2 massive picks onto Bosco and Canadian, but through the punch holes, that's going to be a good night, as Thinking Nate writes MVK a good night dream. So now a 1 versus 3 here for Thinking Nate.
1 versus 3, and finally a round that seems to be going Evil Geniuses' way, but you can never let the Afro, you can never like underestimate the Afro, because he is a nutty player, and even with 30 seconds left, he has the ability to clutch this out. Doesn't have the diffuser though, so that's probably going to hinder this ability here, as it's all the way inside of Kitchen. So he's going to try to take this 1v1 on the player inside of Sunrise, so that looks like that's Necrox just gassing out the rotates, but Necrox still had a nice headshot, not even give Thinking Nate a chance. A little bit of BM there at the end, but the first round for Evil Geniuses comes in round number 4, and definitely a good start here to the possible comeback, and at least try to pick up 2 rounds here on defense.
Yeah, it's good relief knowing that EG is able to at least win a round and not being completely dominated here by SSG. Very great picks coming out for MVK on that round. Those are his first picks of this matchup here, by the way, and it all really started the moment Modiga hit off Rampy with a flank from it coming through inside a penthouse. It looked to be that there was no flank drones, no awareness that Modiga was hiding up top inside a theater. I'm not so sure if SSG just misdroned it or what have you, because you don't normally see that from SSG. You normally see that SSG drones everything out, so that way once Rampy is in position to, he can buck safely from above, and then they're able to watch his back as he's able to just use that skeleton key to create the vertical pressure that he needs to, but just something happened there that I didn't catch for Modiga to be able to flank onto Rampy, and everything just went downhill there.
Hopefully my mic sounds a little bit better for you guys. I apologize if it sounds pretty bad, but either way here, round number 5 coming through, and it looks like it's back down to Kitchen for Evil Geniuses, as they're going to try to make it 2 now rounds for defense. Looks like they're setting up a little bit of a defense for this top floor here, as that's going to be Modiga, more than likely, along with Gotcha, to try to hold off that roam clear. As before we saw SSG come in through Hookah and through the offices, and as well as Aquarium, to try to attack onto the Kitchen. So likely going to see them try to go for the same attack, as Not really too sure where they're spawning out, but it seems like a couple of them have spawned out on the east, Canadian being one of them. He's been switching off of his operators a lot. He's played Nomad, Jackal, and Lion. So the only person really switching things up as MVK. Good night, Fultz. I believe he was just holding an angle there on the white stairs window. That's a nice shot down to take on to Fultz, who has been a big impact player here for SSG.
It's a pretty nice and pretty big impact frag to come out for NVK there on default. It's one of your entry fraggers being gone in the first minute of play. Now thinking in the rest of Space Station, you're going to have to try to fight back and even things out and try to put themselves in advantage. So far, you do have NVK rotating over or by the white stairs, I still believe. And his Canadian's going to be able to see that his drone has those visual scanning marks. Looks that Modig is still sitting inside a penthouse. Now it's going to be actually NVK, so he could catch Canadian off guard here, but Necroc's going to allow the hatch to be open now with that shotgun in hand. So NVK does have an opportunity to rotate out. But Canadian just trying to bide his time, sitting inside a Hall of Fame right now.
Yeah, he's just trying to see if he can't find a free pick here. The drones are missing him as they're not really too sure where he is, but one will finally spot him out. Actually, he gets Jackal tracked there, so excellent work by Canadian to find out MVK and force him to go back down to the site, but he was able to waste about half of the round here and gonna force the rest of SSG to try to scramble and pick together these pieces of this round with only a minute 15 left and still a lot of ground to cover. They haven't really made their push onto site just yet, still taking control of up top and looking down through these angles that will be made by Canadian more than likely and Rampy on that buck, but Rampy's actually nowhere near to make those holes as he's actually pushing down the Cool Vibe stairs, and it looks like they're trying to make this push happen in through Sunrise, and I'm not sure if they are aware that Gotcha has positioned himself all the way inside of this cubby. These Mozzie pests are doing an excellent job denying these drones and could possibly allow Gotcha to pick up a few kills here if they're not able to detect where he is.
40 seconds remain here in the round, and Bosco just trying to find Gotcha, who's currently tucked away deep inside the corner, but that's the wrong time. A great pick to come through. A bit of a big waste of utility there to take down one of the firebolts, but that's going to result in Gotcha's death as only 30 seconds remain here in the round. Thinking Nate's still up above on those wide stairs. Canadian and Bosco still trying to push inside of Sunrise. Time is starting to run out. Those toxic bibs are going to be very prevalent here for the push, and there's no way to get rid of that barbed wire in the entrance into kitchen. NVK has now rotated back into the corner of the kitchen, and this round looking to go in EG's favor unless SSG has something to say about it. That's going to be a good pick for Thinking It as NVK is able to trade it out onto Bosco, but pushing on through, SSG pushes in, barely getting the plant down, and time is going to be Canadian trying to plant that diffuser, and unfortunately for Space Station, Evil Geniuses are there to shut down the plant just in time before it could get planted successfully. NVK there with the CZ75 in hand, able to take down Canadian.
Excellent play there from NVK indeed to shut down that plant, and just the attack took too long for Space Station Gaming. Once they finally got that pressure on the site and they got that control, there was like 10 seconds left, and you saw Canadian scrambling to try to put that diffuser down with extra time being allotted for it to go down. That's two now rounds in a row for Evil Geniuses, and we'll see Canadian actually flexing onto the first hard breacher of this map in Habana. That's now the fourth operator he's played. Nobody else on Space Station Gaming has changed roles since the very beginning of this map.
EG fighting back now with 2 rounds in a row. That last one cutting it really close, and Space Station normally acts with a lot of more time onto the bomb site. But unfortunately, with that first pick onto Fault, really hurt SSG, and they kind of stalled out there trying to take map control. They got control of Sunrise a little too late. There was about 30 seconds left when they started to progress through Sunrise and trying to fight their way into Kitchen, but by then, the Toxic Babes that came out from Necrocs were far too powerful there to stop that push from SSG, and they were able to win out that round in EG's favor. So, round number 6, it's going to be our final defense here from Evil Geniuses with our final attack coming out from Space Station. NVK going to be on the dock instead of Vigil this time. This is the first time we're going to be seeing NVK on this dock.
So the dock, like you said, the first time we're seeing that ACOG be brought out by the defense. I don't think they've brought any other ACOGs this entire map. No, they have not. So this is the first time we're seeing an ACOG brought by Evil Geniuses, and we're going to be seeing again, push in through Sunrise here as Rampy's already made his way down just underneath the site. He could even go for some buck holes if he has the intel, but could honestly it's going to be interesting to see how they choose to attack this now, as they've kind of got a double-edged sword here with this pressure from the windows and also from the skylight. Rampy down below, though, could do a mess of damage.
Yeah, so you're starting to burn out the first minute of play here. Our last bomb site going to be played out inside of hookah and billiards. Canadian going ahead and making sure that the office is clear to enter on through. The Canadian going to be right outside of hookah just to make sure that no one can cross safely in his crosshairs. Rampy down below instead of Sunrise. I like this idea from Rampy to rotate between Sunrise and Blue Bar so that we can buck below onto Necrox and possibly even Modiger or onto Gotcha. I'm not so sure exactly where Young is playing right now, but Rampy and Pulse just switching back and forth between their drones. Canadian finally taking a Hibana. Going to use these pellets to try to clear out and try to flush out where Necrox is playing as Gotcha will now be sitting on the vase.
Yeah, Gotcha's just trying to hold on to this hallway here and also just repel into the site as about half of the round has expired. And honestly, MVK doing some work there, taking out all those pellets from Canadian, not allowing him to open up that cocktail wall is going to allow for Necrox to sit a little bit more safely inside of that cubby. As Rampy is still downstairs inside of Sunrise, hasn't been able to find any picks yet, but Canadian looks like he wants to rotate in. Gotcha, though, actually running the MP5 on mute. Not really used to seeing that, as it's normally the shotgun, but the grenade will take care of that MP5 or shotgun. A nice nade from Rampy as he pushes right up Cool Vibe stairs, and he could even push up further, except, oh, it's a pushback from Evil Geniuses. Gotcha is going to throw in, no, Necrox is going to throw in that smoke canister, and Modiga is actually going to take control of these Cool Vibe stairs, so not going to be a push up here from Rampy or Fultz just yet, but no, actually
Wow.
Rampy just pushes right through it with the shotgun and just takes out Modiga.
So there's 35 seconds to remain now. Necrox with the great wide swing and a pre-fire onto Rampy. Tied up here at 3 apiece. Now you got Canadian on those stairs as Necrox finds one. Almost finds a second onto Fultz sitting behind the pink bar. Oh, Fultz doesn't see him, but NVK is right around the corner on the other side of the vase, tossing a flashbang that's easily going to net a frag into NVK's hands. Now all of a sudden it's up to Thinking Nate sitting inside of hookah as NVK tucks himself inside of the billiards corner. And Evil Geniuses will win their third round in a row here, coming out from Young with a swift frag to the head of Thinking Nate. And we're all tied up here, 3 apiece on Coastline.
Definitely didn't see that one coming, as it was SSG to take the quick start with 3 straight rounds in a row, all off of kills. Those last 3, though, one was off time and the other 2 were just off frags alone. So excellent work by Evil Geniuses in order for them to stave off any more drought than they already have. Tying things up at 3 apiece, moving on to your attacks, is definitely looking strong for them as we look at the scoreboard here, and even showing from Evil Geniuses, Gotcha and Modiga not having the best of times. But Rampy, I think the big one to Marcus, he's been the opening kill 3 times now, and 2 and 4. If you can get Rampy hot, I think that this is going to look good for Spacestation.
So they're bringing both the smoke and a Goyo. This is going to be a lot of area to now for both Canadian and Bosco. And you also have Thinking Nate on the Legion for intel and damage done to the attackers. You have to bring in the Doc with Fultz to heal any roamers or defenders that might need healing later on in the round. And you got your Jaeger for burning out utility. And these shields are so powerful. And I'm honestly not so sure why we haven't received any nerfs to Goyo. Because for the longest time, at least the past month or so, the players have been asking, please nerf Goyo, and we just haven't seen anything. I think we just need some more gameplay competitive-wise to make sure that these 3 shields are too powerful. But with both the smoke and a Goyo on the board, like I just mentioned, it's going to be a lot of area to now and a lot of time to be wasted for those Goyo shields because they each burn at 10 seconds a piece.
Yeah, and they do a lot of damage as well. It's very easy for both a defender and an attacker to die from it. I mean, even if the attacker is able to get a grenade or an ash charge or a breaching charge from Zofia, you're able to destroy those shields and even do damage to the defense. I know that when me and Rams were casting, we saw that once during the Sonics, I believe, versus Senshi, if I'm not mistaken. So that did happen once. I believe it happened to Slevin. But either way here, round number 7, we've switched the halves now. We've switched sides, I should say. And it's now Space Station on defense. So we'll see if either of these teams are able to prefer this this opposite side now, as this map tends to be attacker-sided, I believe, statistically. So do look to see EG to have at least an easier time on attack.
Yeah, so SSG has already burned off a minute of play here. Rampy going to be using a bullet hole inside of Hookah to try to shut down any presence that comes around from Evil Geniuses on that Aquarium swing. But now MVK is going to be rotating from Aquarium into Lounge. It's going to be Gotcha using that Hibana to open up the reinforced hatch up above in Penthouse to allow any kind of quick rotations for Evil Geniuses down below into Lobby. Rampy is now rotated away from Hookah all the way down into Lounge, and this buck coming off from Necrox is going to do a lot of work up above from both Penthouse and VIP.
Yeah, just going to be seeing Bosco. Looks like he's looking up through some of these holes here made by the buck of Necrox, and only half the round left remaining, and Rampy just sitting outside the kitchen hallway. A lot of these walls left soft by Space Station, looking like they want to play this from the outside. It's a very intriguing defense, to say the least, as I believe they only have one person on site. The other members are looking at this from the outside in, and this could be a poor decision from Space Station. I'm not sure. We just got to see how the rest of this round plays out, because it's definitely not one that I've ever seen before. So
right now you currently have Young right outside of the lobby on that double door, and you have both Fultz and Canadian playing over by security. That's going to be a quick trade to come through as Rampy is able to find one. And another quick pick for Rampy as well, a double kill onto both the Twitch and the Hibana, yeah. So that's going to be both Gotcha and Modiga taking down. A great wallbang coming through for Rampy. 3 massive picks for Rampy, 4 for Rampy. That's a quad kill so far. All that remains now is going to be Young. Can Rampy find the ace? We'll go ahead and swing on over, but no, Young is rotated, I believe, into Kitchen, as Bosco is going to get firebolted now. Young needs to find the remaining 4 members as he's taking down Fultz. It's now rotating into Kitchen at the rotate hole. It's going to be Young trying to find Bosco, but Bosco is there to answer the call. And Space Station are finally able to win their first round here after losing 3 straight on their attacks.
yeah, finally SSG to be able to pick up those pieces there, heavily off the back of Rampy finding a 4K for himself. Almost had that ace, if not for the last kill there, stolen by Bosco. Never a stolen ace inside of a competitive play such as this is. I mean, we're just here to win. I mean, these players are here to win. They don't really care about the stats. They just need to get that W in the win column at the end of it. So it looks like they will be switching things over to now the double bars, as they're going to be going to the blue and Sunrise, and going to be bringing that Mira. That's actually the first Mira that we have been able to see on this map. So that's actually very weird. I mean, we expected a lot more Mira play to come through.
Well, I don't necessarily say I think we expected. I think that just given how often Mira is banned, teams have learned to adapt and play and rely on other pieces of information where you don't necessarily need a Mira. But the way that Space Station is going to be using this mirror here down below inside of blue bar and orange bar, and I believe that we're going to be seeing the mirror most likely played inside of blue bar to look over into, no, not blue bar, excuse me, pink bar to look over down the hall inside of, down the kitchen hallway. And then the second mirror, you could probably place it upstairs or even on that blue bar window to try to peek over at the blue bar window.
Yeah, so round number 8 coming in, and we're seeing no Goya this time. It looks like the mute going to be picked up by Canadian. The dock is still being played, but it looks like it's actually going to be Thinking Nade this time on that roll. Fultz is switching over to Smoke, and we see Bosco, of course, on that Mira, as not really any switches coming out from Evil Geniuses whatsoever. Normally don't really see too many pickups come on to a attack, as you've got really your set lineup for any site on this map, as you've got to be able and ready to expect anything from Space Station Gaming. So gonna see exactly how they want to attack this. It seems like Modiga and Gotcha are gonna be focusing on VIP and Hall of Fame here, as Modiga looks like he got some intel there onto the Jaeger of Rampy just rotating down the white stairs, and MVK here to try to follow suit and see if he can't pick off the kill.
I think Rampy was using a bullet hole there made by his pistol to try to peek over into Hookah, but that drone that came out from Evil Geniuses gave intel and forced Rampy to rotate after he was compromised. So now Modiga gonna get... Okay, I thought Modiga was the one that got slammed there, but it's gonna be Canadian onto Necrox, sitting inside of office. Mo is taking control of 90 up above. and Evil Geniuses need to start flushing out and getting that information that there's no one really playing up above, that these holes are mostly just being used for distraction. So there's already half the round going to be burnt out here, and with Necrox dying here, that's your buck. No vertical pressure to be used here at all. So that's a massive pick to come through for Canadian as we got a minute 30 left to play in the round.
A minute 30 left to play, half of the round, and it looks like Young may go back over to Ruins and try to hold off for a rotate, as it seems like they're going to be going downstairs onto the Sunrise take. Modiga just taking out a few of these black mirrors, and thinking Nate actually, it seems like with a run out, yeah, it takes Young right out. That was a nasty shot where Young was so far away. Oh my
goodness.
God, that was a nice shot by Thinking Nate, and that was a cross map shot, as MVK will be there to even things out a little bit here.
Yeah, so you have 50 seconds left to play out now. Rampy tucked away right on the office doorway leading into security, and MBK just not wanting to give away his position just yet. He's going to be just patiently waiting, possibly see if he can get some drones to give out Rampy's position, maybe asking for a drone to come in through office, as it looks that's exactly going to be coming out for Gotcha. So now Rampy's going to be compromised, and MBK should net a frag here as he creeps on up, but Rampy going for a pre-fire is going to say no to that. He'll take down NBK, and now Modiga and Gotcha are going to be remaining two members here for EG, but a quick frag to come around, as that's a great shot from Faults as Gotcha trades it back now onto Rampy. It's a 1v3 here for Gotcha with 15 seconds left to play, and shots coming through the wall of Blue Bar as he nets himself inside the office. Toxic Babes being released, and Gotcha's just going to run away and try to net himself with a free round win to make sure that he doesn't die here.
Yeah, he's just
not
trying
a free
to boost
round win,
those
but just to
cats.
make sure he survives at least.
Yeah, just trying to boost those CGG stats. Is no really any chance he was going to win that with all of the utilities still on the board from Spacestation Gaming. So going to be looking at now round number 9, and now SSG finding their footing yet again here. They're going to take the first 2 rounds of the second half on defense. So are we going to be seeing a little bit of pushback here from Evil Geniuses? As again, look at the scoreboard. MVK playing it very well. Rampy, I told you, Rampy needs to be that X factor if SSG want to have this with a little bit more ease. So Rampy now with 7 kills. I believe he was. I believe he's because he was 2 and 4. So he's got to be what 4 and 1 since the half.
Rampy?
Yes.
Well, he found himself with a nice 4K, and then he just picked up MBK that last round. So that's so far 5 picks for him, and to count that up, yep, that's going to lead up to 7 actually. So yeah, Rampy finding those 5 picks after being at 2 and 4. Netting himself at the top of the scoreboard right now at 7 and 5. So SSG has really come alive here. That massive 4K to come out for Rampy on their first defense was so clean and precise, especially with that third frag being a wallbang from inside of Blue Bar into Courtyard. I believe that was onto Modiga if I'm not mistaken, but Young trying to make the best of it work in that 1v4 scenario ultimately ended up getting shot in the head by Bosco. So now it's a 5-3 scoreline. Canadian going to be using the mute to defend on these billiards walls. There's no Thatcher being brought, so for Evil Geniuses, they're going to have to either go down below and realize that there are being mute jammers placed on these billiards walls and try to take them out, so that way they can try to breach on through. But it looks to be, for the time being, Evil Geniuses is going to have to find that info out pretty quickly here. Otherwise, they're going to have to suffer with not being able to get that billiards wall bar open, and Canadian being tucked safely inside of billiards. But Rampy going to go for a run out. I think that run out might have been too early.
Yeah.
He would have waited just a few seconds there. He might have been able to net himself with the pick, possibly even onto Young, who would have been a massive impact frag if he found that.
Looks like I have the wrong band here. Well, who was that 5th band that came through? Do you remember?
Oh my goodness, okay.
Nice,
so
bro.
Thinking Age getting caught lacking as he barricades the door. Modiga with the wall bang right as Thinking Age finishes barricading it up. And that's unfortunate for Thinking Age, as the Jaeger will fall here, and that gives an early advantage into Evil Genius's favor.
Yeah, the third player now that's going to be playing Doc. First it was Thinking Nate, or first it was Fultz, then Thinking Nate, and now Bosco. So kind of flipping the script here on who gets to play this ACOG role with those stim pistols in hand. And like you said, with that first pick already on the board for Thinking Nate, that's going to give Evil Geniuses the advantage here for the time being. It's unfortunate there that he had to be the timing of that kill, and already a push here. It looks like it's heavily onto this hookah balcony. Modiga just holding down below for the time being, denying any nitro cells that are going to come through. As it looks like they're trying to clear out these ADSs. They're trying to take out the shield. Fultz taking about half of his HP from that nade. Kind of an interesting damage aspect, as it seemed like he was further away from that grenade than he was.
Yeah, so you got a double nade run loadout here coming out from both Necrox and Modiga, excuse me, on the Sludge and the Buck. Now Bosco just trying to make himself more lines of sight, as Necrox from down below is trying to create some pressure onto Fultz hiding behind that pink bar. Now Fultz has actually rotated away over towards Qualifier stairs, and he might even try to pressure on down to Evil Geniuses, but it looks like there's a member of EG trying to make sure that on that kitchen door, so that way Fultz doesn't come around and try to create pressure or go for a flank, but you've only got 60 seconds left on the clock here. Now Young going for a pre-fire, not going to net himself with anything, as Bosco will now rotate away. Rampy evening things up, as Rampy will be now traded by Necrox. Another pick slowly coming onto NVK, and that's going to be taken care of by Necrox. So that's Fultz biting the dust here. 1 versus 4 here for Bosco on the dot. Can the man do it? We've seen him time and time again net some pretty crazy frags. There's only 35 seconds that remain. A drone's going to come up and compromise Bosco's position as he goes for a pre-fire on that hookah door.
Yeah, he will take out that drone, and with only 30 seconds left, the Evil Geniuses made to make this push happen. Bosco will find one, he'll find a second, a nice double for him. Can he possibly find a third? The Ash on such low HP, and the Diffuser's not in the hands of anybody right now. There's one on side of Cool Vibes. The smoke canisters will come up from the Capital, and it looks like the plant will come follow suit from Young, just on the other side of these benches. Bosco's just going to rotate right in. He could possibly find this pick. He's going to get the Ash, and he gets the clutch with the knife! How does he do it? The 1v4 for the man himself, Boscote, as he'll pick up match point here for SSG.
Bomb defusing attempt failed. Defenders
Bosco just did that to Evil Geniuses? Oh my goodness. I mean, to be fair, they gave him 2 1v1s, which he won spectacularly. And then on top of that, he found the crazy frag onto, I believe it was NBK, on that Ash, and then just able to not win the gunfight out, but instead stick a 6-inch blade deep into the heart of Young, able to win out that knife battle and get the counter defuse. Oh my goodness. Bosco is a madman.
defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. Bomb located by attackers.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. Definitely picking up Fultz and Bosco. Bosco being a pretty long time addition for this roster for about a couple seasons now. Fultz coming in last season at the beginning of season season 10, because he played in Challenge League for season 9, coming in to replace Ryan. So yeah, despite Fultz being at the bottom of the leaderboard, SSG as a whole are actually just pretty much holding their own. There's no one really straying away with too much of a carry here. They're all pretty much contributing to the pack. And we're sitting here at a 6-3 scoreline. And it looks like Rampy might be prepping this window, possibly placing a Gershmot mine to try to stun anyone from SSG that repels in. But wow, SSG have looked so dominant in the past couple of weeks. First at their OGA pit, and then now at USN, and then even here in the online qualifiers. SSG have not dropped a single map, as we mentioned yesterday when they were playing against Sonics, throughout the entire qualifier and throughout the entire US Nationals event. So right now they currently sit at 13-0, and should they win these next 2 maps, they'll be sitting at 15-0 as of December 13th. I thought Rampy just hit the craziest shot that we've seen, but Fault's able to do it with the quick reactions onto NVK. The bait works in favor, and now Rampy's going to be reset to 75 HP as Necrox was trying to go for a flank there through security, but now he's going to be forced to be held in that position, and he's currently stuck right now. He can't really do anything unless he gets information here onto Fultz, but even so, Fultz has been so good with the reactions, going for a pre-fire, tagging Gotcha up a little bit, but now Gotcha's going to fall here right on top of Young as he secures that diffuser. Necrox is able to find Fultz, however, inside the lobby, and Young going to be taken down here as well. Now it's leaving it all up to Necrox in a 1v4 match point on the line, but this holographic sight going up against Rampy, it's not looking pretty. Canadian having that crossfire locked down on those white stairs, and Necrox will need to find 4 spectacular picks up against Space Station. Gonna be cooking a nade now, sitting inside of security. It's not gonna work out as it ends up hitting the wall. A beautiful nade getting tossed out, but not going to work for this Canadian on those white stairs. He'll take down Necrox, and Space Station Gaming keeping their perfect MAC record since December 13th, going up 14-0 here as they end the first map at a 7-3 scoreline, winning 4 defense rounds in a row at the break.
I definitely agree. I think that this team will more than likely be a top 2 team inside of North America, but we have both teams ready. We have our lobby set. Why don't we make our way into Clubhouse? Enough of us talking about that map. You don't really, that's not why you guys are here. You guys aren't here to listen to us talk. You guys are here to watch Evil Geniuses and Space Station Gaming face off in our upper final for the closed qualifier of the 6th Invitational. Again, if you are just joining us and you don't know what's going on here, Space Station Gaming were able to win map number 1 in a score of 7-3 over Evil Geniuses on Coastline, which was Evil Geniuses' map pick. So definitely got to look for Evil Geniuses to pull out something big here in map number 2 if they want to win SSG's map pick, which they are incredibly efficient on Clubhouse.
Yeah, so we have Maverick being banned out here by Evil Geniuses as they're starting on defense. Space Station going to go ahead and ban out both Capital and Valkyrie, very prominent attacker and defenders to be used on this map. Last ban going to come out is going to be Mira, of all operators, so we're leaving both Echo and Maestro left on the board for intel. You're also going to be able to use Mozzie to try to snag those drones and prevent as much intel as possible with those pests on the doorways. So you're at least taking 2 C4s off the board, and your C4s are going to have to come out from Mozzie, Mute, Bandit, pretty much those 3 operators, even a Kaid as well. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how EG is going to have to use these defenders. And you, like I mentioned before, you're bringing both the Bandit and a Kaid, and it looks like Mozzie will be 6th picked here by MBK, given that he just last picked a castle at the last possible second. Young going to be on Jaeger, and we're sticking with the alibi. So we're going to Gym and Bedroom as our first bomb site. Castle looking to be 6th picked here by NVK, as it will be confirmed onto the Mozzie. It looks to be that SSG might be anticipating a server cache defense, but it looks like EG might be throwing a wrench into those plans and looking to go very frag heavy on this first defense here for Clubhouse.
Gym and Bedroom. We saw this yesterday from the Sonics, I believe, or this was their second site at least. It seems like teams are starting to figure out how this site is run, and they're going to it much more often. So see, that's just what I love about this game. Like a map gets reworked, and all of a sudden there's there's 2 sites that was really never played by anybody that are now 2 of the more choose sites on this map.
Yeah, so I honestly think that this lineup coming out from EG is pretty unordinary. It's a bit interesting. You're
double
bringing
hard
double
destructive
breach
thing.
down.
Yeah.
You're bringing double breach down with both Necrox and Modiga on the Bandit and the Kaid. There's no smoke being used. There's no Echo or Maestro being used either. Your only ACOG is with Necrox on that TCSG. But fortunately for Necrox, he's going to be able to use that Electric Claw to stop Canadian from opening
Wow.
up this wall. Great use to use his audio there. And it looks to be that Kaid is going to run away and possibly even trying to net his other Electric Claw. Will he be able to do it in time? Yes, he does! That
Oh!
exothermic charge will be canceled right out, and Necrox and Evil Geniuses will have full control of server. So now it's going to really be up to Bosco if he even wants to use those X-Kairos pellets, but that's one of your 3 C4s being taken down, and Gotcha as well! Peeking Folds, what are you doing, EG? You've already got control of server, there's no need to waste your lives peeking Folds.
Yeah, that's that's 2 kills that shouldn't happen, you know, especially since you've already denied both of the exothermic charges from Canadian. You can't be giving away free kills like that to SSG, because they are going to jump on the opportunity to seize those. So with about a minute and a half left in this round, no more breach from Canadian. It's all up to Bosco now. Is there any way we can switch to Bosco here in a second and see? Oh, there we go. Looks like he's going to use both of his first 2 on the main wall of the Jacuzzi, as he does have one last pocketed X-Kairos. And oh my god, this could be a free kill for Rampy here if, or no, for Fultz if he's able to stun out the Jaeger. And that's going to be Young falling back into the secret stash, as he's just trying to peek up onto this hatch. This drone doing excellent work here for Rampy and gathering that intel on the Jaeger.
So despite SSG not having control of server, they're completely
Oh my
dominating
God.
Evil Geniuses here. That's their 4th straight death in the flawless round here for Space Station. What are you doing, Evil Geniuses? You had control of server. They were denied access into server, denied access into cache, but they just said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and rotate our attack. They switched it all over towards the Jacuzzi wall. They just fragged heavily, and it all started with Fultz right outside over by the motorcycle bikes.
Yeah, I mean, Fultz was a big part of that round with his, not only his gun, but also his utility there with these Ophia grenades and also the drones. But SSG taking a quick start to this their second map, the first round here on Clubhouse, as they're looking to make a statement here inside of these finals and moving over to the grand finals in order to play for a chance to go to the 6th Invitational in Montreal. It's going to be a big opportunity for, I mean, either of these teams, any of these teams that end up going and getting the spot are going to be, it's going to be a big opportunity for them, no matter what.
So one thing I want to check for you, Razor, is just double check that your OBS, your desktop volume is all the way turned up all the way, and if it's not, there's something weird, because I'm listening back to it, and the chat's saying that it's too low, but
I mean, I can turn this up right here.
yeah, because the clean feed that we have is completely fine, but
yeah,
from what
and
chat's saying,
I have it turned all the way up. I mean, if you're on my stream right now, you can see I have this turned all the way up, and I also have my volume on my desktop turned all the way up, so I can't turn anything up anymore. I mean, I'm seeing it on my clean on my OBS, so it definitely should be working. I apologize if it's a little quiet. I mean, we can have Jasmine. If it's still quiet when this comes around again, Jasmine can turn it back up a little bit. But it looks like he will be doing that right
Jasmine's
now.
end is fine to me, but
That's perfect. Just leave it right there, and I can mess with it on my end. If you leave it at like at whatever it is, so I can mess around with it on my end. As it looks like he's alt tab for a second, so we'll be getting right back in.
So
yeah, there we go.
Evil Genius is now going to be located down below inside the basement, and I thought that was false for a moment, but I'm not so sure if he used his lifeline there. But yeah, I think he might have used his lifeline to open up over at Jacuzzi. No, the Canadians trying to open up Jacuzzi now. So this is an interesting strategy to come out here for Evil Geniuses. They placed test over at the drone hole by the Jacuzzi wall. That obviously ended up being thatchered out by Thinking Need. So that's at least one of the 3 EMPs that Thinking Need will have to be using. So now Gotcha's going to be going upstairs for a roam over between logistics and cash alongside Modiga inside of construction. So they're going to be trying to waste as much time as possible here. And I think NVK, so NVK is going to be all the way down below at the basement stairs. So the C4 might be utilized here to try to net himself with the pick should anyone come into his line of, onto those stairs.
Yeah, just trying to hold down that position for as long as he can, and looks like we're going to see a few of these members rotate back to side as Modica just dancing around upstairs with Gotcha. The push seems to be coming out from this jacuzzi side, like we were talking about, the thermite charge going off onto that, and they've actually maneuvered their way all the way back over towards garage, so giving complete control away to SSG, and they already are making this attack happen onto the main hatches, as that'll be up to Canadian to get those open, being the only hard destructor this time, not choosing to bring that Habana like they did in the previous round.
Looks like Gotcha's being pressured still up above, but Rampy's going to decide to rotate away from logistics and head down those main stairs and start to pressure in towards the kitchen hall now. You got a minute left to work with here for Space Station, as Bosco's already dropped his way down into mode. There is a soft wall to be used here, so should Fultz still have an impact on that lifeline, he can use it to full advantage. But now Canadian's going to go ahead and use an exothermic charge as Bosco takes down NVK. That's your Mozzie off the board, and that's your only C4 as well. So now you're going to have to rely on these, actually one of the two C4s, because the mute is still alive. But I'm not so sure exactly where Gotcha is playing. Is thinking he's able to take down both Gotcha and Necrox, and now Canadian swinging down through, not able to hit the pre-fire into Arsenal, as Young will finally answer back here for Evil Geniuses. 30 seconds remaining. Young hitting the flank into Moto. He'll take down Fultz. A third here for Young onto Thinking Nate as he starts to plant down that diffuser, but he's not going to find the fourth one there onto Bosco. A great pick for Mo as he takes down Rampy. Bosco starting to plant down that diffuser. 4 seconds left, and now Mo reacting towards the black boxes, but Mo wins the gunfight onto Bosco, and Evil Geniuses answer back with the round of their own here to start things off very hotly on Clubhouse.
Excellent play there from Young, and Modiga playing that 2v5 out perfectly for Evil Geniuses and bringing back a round that really should not be theirs. SSG having the 5-2-3-man advantage going into the final seconds of that round, just throwing themselves into the hands of Young and Mo. As we're going to be seeing now Gym and Bedroom yet again from Evil Geniuses. They did just lose this, so it's curious as to why they're going back, but hopefully we're going to see less aggression from both Gotcha and MVK, I believe, or was it Modiga who was that first kill? No, it was Gotcha and MVK. They were the first two kills in that first round.
Yeah, because Mo ended up getting that final exit frag, and it was just really off the backs of both Young and Mo, and that 2v5, something that should have never, ever happened. But Young able to hit that flank, rotating out of Arsenal and in through Church Hallway. Able to find those necessary crucial 3 picks, able to stop the diffuser from going down, and really it all started with that first pick onto, I believe it was Canadian.
I honestly, yeah, I think it was Canadian. It definitely was just towards the end of that round. He'd already used all of his utility, so excellent clutch yet again, we'll say it. But round number 3 now, so it's a different story here for both of these teams, as we're going to be seeing whether or not EG are able to ride that momentum and move into the next round here with a dub, as it seems like they want to focus their attention on yet again this east side, and we could even see Bosco trying to get rid of some of these castle barricades pretty early on here.
A really big fucking hole.
Yeah, so just looking back at it, it was Canadian that died first, and then Fultz not able to find that refrag, and then thinking he was in the process of planting down that diffuser over on the black boxes, and end up netting Young with the 3K. And he tried to find a fourth now, and he tried to find a fourth onto Bosco, who was all alone, and it just ended up not working in his favor. But Bosco this time around going to be playing on the Hibana instead of the Jackal. And I like the way that EG held this last time, where they had Necrox on that Kaid, able to trick that wall. But Rampy's going to find the opening pick onto NVK. One member that really doesn't have a whole lot of utility left to work with, as he's already used his castle barricades, more so just trying to fight for control inside a server. That's a great pick regardless, as that puts man advantage now in favor for Space Station Gaming.
SSG taking the advantage and losing one of your better fraggers in MVK. Hasn't been as hot as of late, but always has the ability to pop off in the late rounds, and taking him out is always a big, taking any operator out, you know, is always a big accomplishment, because you need to get those man advantages racked up early on, as It looks like Bosco's going to even try to go in for this push onto the main wall as he's trying to just blind out Necrox from being able to either impact trick or Kaid trick off this wall. And Bosco doing excellent, using excellent work of his utility, opening up all the angles for Rampy to be able to walk right in and take down Necrox. So excellent roam clear here of the cash room, and have wasted about 2 minutes in doing so. So it could be a little bit of a stretch here to go for this plant, as they still have Modiga playing down inside a lobby with that Nitro cell.
Yeah, so Fultz unfortunately not able to find Mo on that rotate despite getting called out from Space Station. Young currently going to be sitting inside of logistics with bullet holes, and then you have, it's going to be Gotcha sitting inside of bathroom if I'm not mistaken. But a great sense of awareness there for Rampy. He'll let himself the third pick onto Evil Geniuses this round, as Mo is able to not shut down another quad kill here for Rampy. A team kill coming out for Thinking as he fights off Gotcha. It's not going to matter, and Space Station went out round number 3 here. The second time that they've attacked here onto Gym and Bedroom.
Yeah, so Rigi taking that lead that they had in the second round. Gonna be going up 3 to 2 or 3 to or 1 to 2. Fuck! Oh my God, I cannot talk. Going up 2 to 1. Wow, that was much harder than it sounded. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna be seeing now Cash and CCTV for the first time for Evil Geniuses, as they're looking to see what they can't stir up here in regards to momentum before these last final rounds ensue. As looking at the scoreboard, it's really just been, I mean, the only 2 kills actually this entire match has been Young and Modiga. I guess they, wow, that's actually very interesting. So the other 2 rounds have been flawless? Aside from TK's, I guess?
Yeah, first round was a flawless, and that last round, I think it was just Thinking that ended up dying,
Yeah.
or whoever ended up getting team killed. Yeah, Thinking got the 2 frags, but yeah, very well played coming out for Space Station so far here. And it really looks like they have their Gym Bedroom attack, at least against Evil Geniuses, on lockdown. And really, it's only been Young and Modiga who have been able to answer the call. At least on this map, so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's map to map based, and
5 seconds left.
we all know how good of a team Space Station is on Clubhouse, so
Attackers are moving out to locate
definitely,
the bomb and defuse it.
it's not surprising the results that we're seeing, at least early on here, and we still have a lot more time to go before the end of this map, so we could see anything happen before then. As again, Cash CCTV for the first time here, and we're looking to see exactly how this attack is gonna unfold, as it looks like they want to get control of this Cash balcony, the CCTV balcony, and open up that wall with the exothermic charge. They're going to need Zofia paired with the Thatcher in order to get these batteries off and deny the bandit trick from Young, as there is no Kaid to do that from afar. Gotcha holding down below, though. He's just waiting for someone to push down and try to take this bandit out while he's trying to trick. And if he's successful in holding this, could make it a lot easier for Young to bandit trick.
Looks like that there is no Kaid here, so Young's not able to bandit trick off that wall. Canadian successfully opening up the server wall. And one thing that I'm noticing about EG's lineup here in terms of operators, that they're not bringing an ACOG. They're not bringing either an Echo or a Maestro to fight on those Garage Raptors with that ACOG and provide the team with intel. They're mostly just trying to use the intel gathered from alibi decoys and NVK's pulse heartbeat sensor. So it's interesting, and I want to see how the rest of this round works out. Is this round here, or the last time that we've seen from EG, when at least they're holding up their second floor bomb sites, has not really been netting them with too many good results. It's mostly just been flawless or just complete dominance from SSG.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. And already looking at this attack, it looks like we have some members from Space Station's stacking up here, as MVK on this pulse has to have this intel above him. I mean, there's 3 members within 10 feet of him vertically, so he definitely has to be aware. But the drone will come through from Bosco, and that will force MVK to rotate away and back over towards the site a little bit more safely in the hands of Gotcha, as I believe he's still playing down below inside of VIP, and might be just making a few more rotate holes for his team and himself to try to go through in order to find some of these angles.
Yeah, so you have MK down below, as you can see on the highlight, that he's down below trying to use that pulse cardiac sensor. Bolt's able to find Gotcha, but it doesn't look like MBK is in a position to really toss that C4 and prevent the plant from coming down, at least on that exothermic charge. The feet are going to be caught out here, and that's going to be, I believe, onto Necrox, hiding behind the bomb chassis. The Canadian trying to find so much damage being done here to Evil Geniuses. NBK trying to feed information, but it's not going to be utilized. Bosco with a great shot through the window. A 5v2 here yet again for Space Station. Canadian has that diffuser in hand. 1C4 gone. Another flawless round on the horizon here, but NBK will shut that down as he takes down Pulse. And Bosco on those red stairs, able to take down NBK and Space Station, winning out their third round here up against Evil Geniuses, up 3-1 against Evil Geniuses on Clubhouse.
I mean, we expected it. I mean, this was SSG's map pick for a reason. They're very good at it. They're very efficient. Again, only one kill away, one death away from yet again another flawless round. I mean, there would have been a flawless round probably in the in round number 3 if it wasn't for the TK by Thinking Nade. But a flawless round isn't a flawless round. Only one thus far in round number 1, as it seems like Church and Arsenal Room, the only site that we've seen Evil Geniuses able to defend successfully, will be the choice for them in round number 5. And we'll see if they're able to push this one yet again, as, I mean, they need to get something going here, as, I mean, Clubhouse is a defensive-sided map, and with both Maverick and Capital being banned, that just leads that it's going to be even more defender-sided, you know, because you don't have that extra bit of utility, that extra hard destructor in order to deny bandit tricks or Kaid tricks on the hatches.
So round number 5 is going to be used here, and we're heading back downstairs into the basement where, in all honesty, should never have gone into Evil Genius's favor. Just the way that it was played out, it just came down to a fortunate 1v1 for Modiga, able to hit his shots onto Bosco in the end there, and it really came to life for Evil Geniuses just because of Young, able to flank through the armory hallway. And just been so dominant here coming out for Space Station. And even just, you know, looking back at how they looked on Coastline, they started off hot, and then Evil Geniuses was able to answer back 3 of their own, and looked like we're going to having a bit more of a tightly contested matchup. And then I think it all really fell apart for Evil Geniuses there on Coastline when Bosco got that 1v4 inside of hookah and billiards.
Oh yeah.
And it was just absolute craziness coming out from Bosco there. Canadian going to go ahead and place one of his thermite charges on the balcony outside of Jacuzzi. But it looks like Gotcha and Modiga will still be up above. These footsteps are going to be scanned out now by Bosco. That's a bit of a waste of an Inox scanner, as it's going to be on the castle down below. So that information is really not going to be used. MBK, however, using the punch hole to his advantage, able to take down Bosco, and that's your jackal off the board. So no more intel here for the attackers. The rest of it's going to have to be being gained out from those drones.
Yeah, good use from the defense here, and Netrox will find another kill for himself, and the team, Canadian will fall. MVK as well, and it looks like this rush, I guess, from SSG is just not going to work out. Rampy with the 2 nice shots in chat. Actually, no, it's just the NA at first, and a down actually on to full, so could we see a flawless round from Evil Geniuses? Yes, we will. Cleaned up nicely by Necrox. A 3K for him, and Evil Geniuses answer back with a boom here in round number 5.
So yeah, MVK finally able to put himself on the board in round number 5. After having 4 unanswered rounds, able to net himself, I believe, 2 or 3 picks there. So it was a very nice round from MVK. 3 picks. Yeah, so flawless round there for EG. Hopefully that gets them fired up and ready to go as we head into round number 6 here. And SSG slowing down and faltering a little bit on that round. I think it was just the crossfires and the angles that were held coming out from EG. And with Bosco being the first one to get picked off down there, they weren't able to scan the rest of those footprints that were being left out by EG. And then just that man advantage just worked so much in favor for Evil Geniuses, and just was a really big, fast snowball that went down through that round. So EG able to answer back and put themselves into a 1-round deficit.
Yeah, excellent work by Evil Geniuses, and looking like they're going to be trying to go back towards Cash and CCTV. See if they can't work anything up here, as they're going with a pretty similar lineup as they went here last time. They brought Really the exact same lineup they went here last time. Hopefully Young is able to be more successful on that bandit trick this time around, as it was kind of weird and awkward how he was unable to bandit trick even with this. I believe he had this door in position last time. Maybe it was able to get shot down by somebody. But either way, Young needs to be more successful on this wall in order for Evil Geniuses to have a better chance in winning this round.
100% agree with that. And if Young's not able to keep the server wall from being open, at least from trying to net away a thermite charge coming out from Canadian, it's going to be pretty tough for him to try to win out this round for Evil Geniuses, because the last 3 times that Evil Geniuses have attacked upstairs have been their only round wins have been on upstairs bomb sites, whether it be cache and server or gym and bedroom. The only 2 rounds that Evil Geniuses has won have been downstairs on the basement. So, if just how the track record looks, it looks to be a 4-2 split here for the attackers on SSG, unless EG are able to answer back and try to tie things up yet again at 3 apiece. So these ADS is going to get burned out now by Evil Geniuses. Young not in a position to trick this wall. Thinking he's currently down below, having to toss up an EMP, but it looks like he hasn't done so just yet.
Yeah, not using any of those EMP grenades whatsoever. He's just waiting for the proper time. It looks like they're trying to get all the players in position here. Rampy might even be going for a grenade.
Oh, what a nade!
And, right into the lap of Young. Excellent grenade there from Rampy as he fell down from the top ropes and was able to slide that right through the server window. Half the rounds remaining. The wall has been opened up cleanly by SSG, and you've gotten even a pick in doing so. So definitely looking like it's going to be going SSG's waiver, at least for the time being, unless we're seeing any more pushback here from Evil Geniuses, as they still have all the utility in order to do this. They're only down and out 1 nitro cell, so not really too much utility to be losing, but still got to look for them to successfully defend the site and try to tie us up at the half.
Only a minute that remains now. Claymore gonna get impacted. Fultz, you gotta hit the shot, and he does onto Gotcha, trying to find another one to Modega as they both run out, giving away their lives. Very foolish play coming out there from EG. Very risky. And that's very 2 nice kills to come out for Fultz. Now Rampy, a gunfight here with Necrox, not able to win it out for Rampy, as Necrox will find one but will immediately fall. Fultz with the final pick of the round onto NVK, and Space Station Gaming are inching closer and closer to finding themselves in that grand final with at least a 1-map advantage. And they have to end up ending this half here 4-2 on attack of all places on Clubhouse.
And with Maverick and Capitao banned away, the Valkyrie and Mira don't seem like they're a hindrance at all to the defense. I mean, teams should be used to a Mira ban, at least on the site, and a Valkyrie ban. I mean, that's something that you can really go without, because you can now bring Echo and or Maestro, but we actually didn't see either of those 2 operators played whatsoever by Evil Geniuses. The only intel operator that they were bringing was the Kaid, and I mean the bulletproof camera if they were bringing an operator which had one. But that just seems like a poorly executed half from Evil Geniuses, not really knowing, like, not really being able to bring those operators that I think that should be always brought. I mean, if an Echo's unbanned, I feel like he's a very strong operator to bring regardless.
Oh my god, chat is tearing into EG right now. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of SSG fans. It's either a lot of SSG fans or a lot of EG haters ever since Gotcha joined the lineup. But SSG have looked so dominant in the past 2 weeks. They were able to make the grand finals of the OG8 Pit Minor, where they ended up losing 3-1 against Team Liquid.
5 seconds.
And then they were able to storm their way through US Nationals pretty much a breeze. There wasn't too much interference that came out of Reciprocity, which is pretty unfortunate to see, given how dominant Reciprocity have looked throughout the entire event. But it looks to be that the Space Station, you know, for the first time, they haven't made a roster change. And it looks to be that it's proving dividends. It's proving to be bearing fruit here for Space Station. They've looked very consistent. They look very just at home and at ease. Gotcha going to be on the Thermite as he ended up replacing Geo. So there was obviously some role changes being made here. They've moved Young off of that support role and moved him over to a bit of a secondary support, so that way Gotcha can efficiently IGL this team. But just the way that SSG has been playing, it doesn't look all that good for EG, unless they're somehow able to win out these next few rounds here and try to get themselves into an advantage in terms of round count.
Yeah, they definitely need to get something rolling here before it gets kind of out of control for SSG, and it looks like this might be the play here from Evil Geniuses. They're just going to run right down the oil pit hallway, even running through the goo mines and trying to make their way all the way down into the utility room. MVK going to choose an interesting spot to pull out that goo mine as they're just walking right into sight. No pushback at all from SSG, and as I say that, Bosco will finally put a few shots into MVK, and a Canadian to try and follow suit, but a grenade flies through and downs off Thinking Nade. As push after push comes through, MVK trying to find these angles, but Fultz and Canadian to tag up too. This is about half of the round, and a lot of pressure being applied in through blue as more and more members are going to join, but it's just being cleaned up by SSG, and it's a flawless round yet again for the man's in the spacesuit. Rampy coming on that excellent flank to just go out of nowhere and take down the player inside of blue. SSG is on a total tear right now.
Wow. I like the idea that came out for I like the idea that EG tried to do there, but it was just executed
Poorly.
very poorly. They had the right idea, but those goo mines that came out from the Legion, oh, so powerful. And that's one of the reasons why Legion is a very, very annoying operator. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people, including Stokes, is a massive hater of Legion. And every time that Stokes plays ranked, he'll always ban Legion and Jackal no matter what's the case, because he wants people to drone and he wants people to stop relying on crutch operators. So in the end, right there, I think that round is solely won just due to the fact of the crutch operator of Legion giving a lot of intel and dealing damage and annoyance over onto Evil Geniuses, and then somehow, some way, Evil Genius is not able to really land their shots. The only points of really damage that really came out there was just from a frag grenade from NVK onto Thinking Nade as he was injured sitting inside a church.
Our first Maestro of the map, Chris. That's in the first Maestro of the map.
Yeah, that's going to be our first Maestro being used here, because both Maestro and Echo are on the board. Our defense bans are Mira and Valkyrie.
Neither of them have been played until today.
I find it very weird that they haven't, and I wonder if EG would have had a bit more success had they used them, because EG did not use a single one of those two ACOG operators on their defenses.
No, I mean, they didn't use any ACOGs except for Kaid, of course, who brings the double ACOG. So curious as to why EG didn't decide to. I'm glad that we're seeing SSG bring these operators out, as they're very strong and very powerful, especially for Clubhouse, as you can get those into a lot of pretty tricky areas for the defense or for the attack to try to get out. But either way here, we've got a push onto the CCTV, as it looks like Gotcha is going to try to make this entry in through server. Has had the wall opened up and is trying to make his way through as the drones will be starting to gather intel for the rest of his team. Fultz and Rampy here look like they want to start to take this on from the head on. As there's a 4 members, I believe, stacked outside of this room. MVK going to try to go for a grenade onto the stairs, but oh, he just barely misses Fultz as he rotates back into cash. Poor timing there for the buck on Evil Geniuses, as he could have had a free kill.
MVK just creeping his way on those red stairs, trying to see if he can catch Fultz off guard. But Fultz is ready for this peek should MVK come around. Gotcha going to try to breach open the server wall. That's an easy pick for Fultz and Bosco as they take down both Gotcha and NVK. That's your Thermite and Buck off the board. And another round looking to go in SSG's favor. Your first half of the round, your only card breacher going to be used here is Necrox. He only has 1 X-Kairos left, and even then, only 2 of those pellets are going to be detonated. You have Rampy currently sitting inside a cache, and Fultz will finally be shut down here by Modiga creeping up those red stairs.
Yeah, Rampy now all by himself inside of Cash. Does have the support of Canadian, but Modiga will shut down Bosco as there's about a minute left, and they're still pushing deep into the Cash room. Rampy's going to come for the push out. He'll find one onto Modiga, goes for the flick onto the Hibana, but it's going to be the pick coming out from Necrox as it's evened up at a 2-2 scoreline. In man count, as Thinking Nade and Canadian are the last 2 defenders. Thinking Nade's going to actually rotate downstairs, as it seems as though he has that nitro cell still available, and that's gonna be very detrimental to this attack, as Canadian is just playing it patiently. He knows that they have the intel with those Maestro cameras, and he doesn't need to peek anything over aggressively.
Canadian currently sitting inside of the gym hallway as Necrox will start to do some work on the master window. has the diffuser in hand, but he is at about half HP. You have Thinking Nate down below, still has a C4 in hand. Only 20 seconds remain in this round. And it really all rides on the backs of how Necrox and Young can work out this round. Starting to rotate into construction. That's going to be Canadian taking down Young. All of a sudden, it's all up to Necrox. Thinking Nate still has that C4 from down below, but Necrox will have to go big here. Doesn't have a time to do so. Will start to plant, and this is a free win to come through for Space Station, as they will be put onto match point, series point, and grand finals point. They will now be 1 round away from putting themselves in a position to make the 2026 Invitational.
They still have to go up against the winner of the losers bracket, though, and if you are wanting to follow those matches, exclamation point multi, better yet, go to exclamation point bracket, go to the match you want to see, click on it, and there should be a comment in the comment section that shows if anybody is streaming it. But this is the upper finals. This is the match everyone cares about. I mean, that's why there's so many of you here. That's why we are here casting it for you all. And now on match point, SSG again up 6-2, even greater than they were on Coastline, which was a 7-3 contest. This is SSG's map pick, and it's again proving why Evil Geniuses should have banned this. I mean, I'm not really too sure why this was allowed through.
As many bombs as they can.
Well, I mean, just looking back at the maps that were banned, Evil Geniuses banned out Cafe first.
That's
That allowed for EG to pick Coastline, and then Space Station to pick out Clubhouse. So, in all honesty, just the way it looks here, Evil Geniuses needed to win Coastline, because the way Space Station just plays Clubhouse, they're almost unbeatable on it. And I don't even think they've lost in their last few recent matchups. Maybe outside of playing up against Liquid, but even then, I don't remember which map it was that they won against Liquid, since it was a 3-1 loss. But still, SSG, man, have they looked so dominant here, especially against Evil Geniuses. And unfortunately for Gotcha, the newest addition to Evil Geniuses here, not as a coach, but as a player, coming back, he's currently sitting at 0-7, so it's a bit of a hard pill to swallow right now if you're Gotcha.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy one, that's for sure. And just looking at the way this map is going, it's basically been all SSG. I mean, EG have 2 round wins, but one of those was a 2v5, a thrown 2v5, and the other one was a flawless round from Evil Geniuses. So, very inconsistent Evil Geniuses has been since losing 2 of their players in Geo and Canadian. So, I mean, this is a roster that has a lot of good players on it, a lot of veteran players. Necrox, Young, who has only not been to 1 LAN final since Rainbow Six Siege has been a thing. He only missed 1, and that was the most recent one in Japan. So, a lot of veteran players and a lot of players that have been around since year 1 as the Zofia charges come through in order to deny that bandit trick from Thinking Nate. Excellent use of the utility here from Evil Geniuses. This is what I'm talking about. They're good at executing. It just seems like once it comes, they're good at planning things out and getting their walls and utility into the right places. It just seems when it comes time for execute, things just seem to fall apart.
So one thing that I've always been curious of, at least with Jaeger, I'm pretty sure his ADS radius is 5 meters. And I've always wondered if you were to place a ADS like on the opposite side of the drone hole, like you place it more over towards the stairs, and if anyone were to try to like Zofia mine like we just saw there with Modiga, if it'll catch that Zofia charge and stop the concussion mine from detonating. Right now, that Electroclaw is going to at least somewhat electrify the breached wall now, as Rampy's going to rotate back up those cache stairs. Canadian has a prime opportunity to jump out onto Modiga should he choose to do so, but it looks like Modiga's Claymore will be set up on that blue stairs window, as now Mo will enter his way on through into stocks, and Necrox covering his back, sitting now inside a lounge.
Canadian coming up for this flank up the blue stairs, though. It doesn't look like he's been droned out. Thinking they'd up on the first of the round, and not even knowing the Canadian was there, he shot Modiga. How did you not hear that? It's now a 5v2 here, as it's going to be a 1v5 for Young to try to stave off elimination from the losers bracket, and it looks like he's given up as he's moving all the way over to the warehouses. And with 15 seconds left, it looks like Evil Geniuses have given up on the map, and SSG will be going to our grand finals in order to see who will be going to the 6th Invitational 2020. GG in chat.
Very, very, very well played coming out for Space Station Gaming there. Very spectacularly played from everyone on SSG. They net themselves and booked their ticket into the grand finals and will be 2 maps away from qualifying as your North American online qualifier representative for their 2nd straight possible invitational. And this could be our very first ever invitational.